Have a seat. Arslan Khan Saab, sir. Which component of the international relation, which time span you are more adapted in answering questions? कौन सा period आपके लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर है? जैसे I am giving you an option. It's
Sir,
like you're period.
I'm good at all, but
अच्छा, okay, that's great.
Sir.
So tell me what was Operation Manhattan?
so Manhattan,
Operation नहीं बल्कि Project Manhattan.
so Project Manhattan was aimed at building the America's nuclear bomb, and it was actually led by Oppenheimer, and he created the atomic bomb. So that
They say it was a joint multinational project. आप सिर्फ कह रहे हैं अमेरिका का था. ये कुछ इस तरह तारीख में कहा जाता है कि it had few more nations also
Sir,
part of this project.
it was American led, but maybe the other nations contributed.
Which were the other nations which contributed to it?
It must have been Britain, sir, France, because they were fighting.
Canada and France. Canada was also part of it.
It was they were fighting Germany.
Who was the president of United States of America at that time, and what role did he play in it?
Sir,
Then operation, which was the time period when this detonation took place?
it was 1946 or 45.
45. These days are very, very important. One last question from European history, then I'll shift to Taimur Saab. You tell me that what were the cardinal major prominent factors of French Revolution?
So, French Revolution, indeed, there were multiple factors. The French Revolution actually came when the fundamental prerogatives of the citizen were curbed by the region of the country. So, sir, they were intellectual causes, and means it is said the thinkers actually prepare the soil, and later on the politicians come and reap that fruit or plant the seeds on it. Intellectual cause, one of the most significant one. Second, sir, economic grievances. France went bankrupt during this era by supporting the war in America, as well as by borrowing from the bourgeoisie. So these two factors were important, and there were multiple others that actually piled up the grievances or made way for.
Who were the king? Name the king and queen of France at the time of the revolution.
So it was Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette.
Sir, over to you. So, thank you, sir. Okay, Arslan, you're an electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
And you know as a fact that Pakistan, the world is moving towards specialization, super specialization, and you being an electrical engineer, you're a specialist. Told me about what are the pull factors towards civil service. Why do you want to join it?
Limited authority, but clear lines of authority first, because it will help me serve my people as well as my country. Secondly, job security and job recognition. Third, I believe I would come to the point again, my instincts that drove me toward civil services.
But Arslan, don't you think that saying that serving the people has become a very bookish answer? Can you become more candid about it?
So it may be bookish, but I mean it here, sir.
Sir. All right. So you had international relations.
Yes.
Can you tell me about Peloponnesian Wars?
So Peloponnesian Wars were a series of war where Thucydides used to wrote between Athens and Sparta. And Thucydides is the one who gave the Thucydides trap, where it says that if an existing power is threatened by a rising power, war is likely to occur. And I believe same is the case for China and United States. Sir.
China and United States. So if we talk about China and US, can you tell me what is decoupling and what is happening in Taiwan?
So decoupling is actually a parting of the ways from economy, as they are dependent or reliant on. In terms of economy, their annual trade exceeds 660 billion. So decoupling means that America wants to shift away from dependence on China. India is the one that is scoring points in decoupling, while Taiwan's as far as Taiwan's importance is concerned, it is famous for semiconductor chips, and especially those chips that US and China themselves cannot build. So it has a heavy industry, because the entire technology AI revolution will be dependent on Taiwan. So whoever will have a hold on Taiwan will eventually rule the world.
Arslan, what was happening in 1793 to 1794 in France?
It was a reign of terror, sir.
What was happening there?
So reign of terror was led by Maximilian Robespierre. He used to guillotine people whoever was used to oppose him or used to oppose the ideals of revolution, which were liberty, equality, or fraternities.
You had international law.
Yes, sir.
Can you name some of the amicable ways to settle international disputes?
It is said that disputes always are resolved on the table.
No, just can you please give me in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4? What are the ways of amicable ways to settle international disputes according to international law?
Arbitration, mediation, and I cannot recall all of them.
All right. You know some of them. Why do you think that none of has been successful while solving the issue of Kashmir between Pakistan and India?
Sir, actually, after Shimla agreement, we went into a dead end where Pakistan made it made it a bilateral problem. So the international community cannot interfere now. As Trump has, in his previous tenure, made offers that I would be happy to mediate between Pakistan and India. We are in a dead end as far as it comes to Kashmir, sir.
All right. Last question from you. You're from Balochistan. Can you tell me what is the difference between BLA and BLF? And do they have any diversion of their interests or demands?
BLA and BLF are led by different leaders. BLA is led by what we can say, there's a famous name I cannot actually recall, sir, right now. Allah Nazar, yes, sir. And second,
Allah Nazar BLA ka?
yes, sir, he's from
BLA? Think again.
BLF.
BLF. BLF.
As
BLF.
far as their demands are concerned, one seeks seeks independence from Pakistan, and second quests for a bigger Balochistan, which includes Sistan in Iran, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, son. What is the technology which was used for making transistors?
Transistors are made from semiconductor chips, sir.
Hmm?
Semiconductors, sir.
You remember transistors? They used to be small radios.
The previous ones, sir?
Yes,
They were tubes, sir. Previously, before 1950s, they were tubes. They used to make transistors from them. Later on, they invented started making them through semiconductors.
What is the role of a capacitor?
So capacitor stores charge in itself. It has two plates and it stores charge.
I'll ask a layman question. ये जो इलेक्ट्रिक फैन है, इसमें कैपेसिटर की स्ट्रेंथ क्या होती है?
I cannot say actually and the figures.
Okay. You are a student of anthropology.
Sir.
So what is the difference between high content and low content cultures?
Sir, I cannot recall it. Right now, sir. I regret my information, sir.
Okay. What is cultural activism?
Pardon?
Cultural activism, relativism. Cultural relativism.
Cultural relativism is something where you tend to look at a culture by relative means, not through an ethnocentric view, where you try to compare two cultures by comparing their features differently, by getting yourself aloof from your personal mindset.
How it differs from the moral relativism?
So moral relativism would be you compare two cultures through moral point of view, sir.
Okay. You have been a police officer. Can you tell me some difference between the Police Act of 1861 and the present police order?
Yes, sir, I can bring a difference here. 1961, the SPs were under the politicians. Therefore, it politicized actually the police. And after 2002, it actually was a depoliticization.
How police is depolitized?
So,
What is the mechanism of horizontal accountability in the police now?
sir, actually, I have recently been inducted in police.
Okay, tell me the difference between vertical accountability and horizontal accountability.
Sir, I cannot guess it even, sir.
Okay, I ask you a different question now. Sir, can I ask in Urdu में भी हम बात? हाँ बिल्कुल सर, ये टाइम है बिल्कुल. अगर हजरत अबू सुफियान इस्लाम कबूल ना करते तो उसके असरात इस्लामिक हिस्ट्री के ऊपर क्या होना?
जो कॉन्क्वेस्ट ऑफ मक्का था, where Abu Sufyan was
क्वेश्चन पे गौर करें. अगर हजरत अबू सुफियान इस्लाम कबूल ना करते सर, तो फिर इस्लामिक हिस्ट्री की शक्ल क्या होनी?
It would be same because there were too many other hostile factors. बहुत सारे hostile और भी थे. They couldn't make a difference. तो मुझे लगता था अबू सुफियान की कोई भी स्ट्रेटजी या कोई भी अगर उनका इस्लाम ना लाना होता, इस्लाम पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता सर.
ओके, इसके ऊपर गौर करना.
ओके सर.
ओके, अब आप मुझे ये बताएं कि व्हाट इज द थ्योरी ऑफ डितांत?
Sir, Detant was a period of relaxation where United States and USSR were bringing themselves close to something like cooperation. It was after Cuban Missile Crisis, and they sat together and looked into.
Can you quote various other examples where this practice was utilized? Because
It was in 1894, the Entente Cordiale between.
what do you call Camp David now? Is it not Ditan?
So it was a détente because Egypt recognized Israel. It was a sort of détente. So,
Your interview, the formal interview is over now. It's just a word of advice. Or I said, okay, but this is supposed to be, we are also supposed to follow it because the errors or mistakes which you commit here, they don't count as such. No? But if you repeat those mistakes in the actual via, that is count a great deal because that's the way to affect your career.
You need to check your tie knot.
ये मैं बोलने वाला था
Your collar is low.
okay,
sir, and your shirt is not very well
dress code is very important.
Then I mean your socks, they're not matching. They're lined socks. Need to wear some plain socks. Okay, sir. So you need to work on that, right?
So,
And in a way you're not properly shaved. Yes, so you need to work on that because the Arslan, the first expression,
wow,
it matters a lot.
No.
And when you started, your voice just started,
not trembling.
I wasn't expecting this from you. Yes. So when you start, start feeling some fear, try to speak louder from your lungs, right? Clench your fists. Okay, this little thing.